Hi, this is Manikara and Raj FM reporting from the Nishkam Centre, and we're here to support the Anthony Nolan Trust. We're outside on Soho Road at the Nishkam Centre, and I'm joined by Kazbasra. And Kazbasra, welcome. First of all, I'd just like to say, why are we all here? What are we doing here? What are you guys doing here? And why is it so important for people to know why we're actually doing this?
Well, we're here to address the shortfall of Asian donors on the Anthony Nolan database. That's actually quite simplistically why we're here. We know that if Asian people get blood cancers, they have around 40% chance of finding a match. And if a European person gets blood cancer, they stand a 90% chance of getting a match. And it's really for us all to come together as a community to address the shortfall.
Right, okay. And the whole point why we're actually here is leukemia, blood cancer. I mean, can you give us a little bit of knowledge about that?
Well, I mean, how I came to become aware of this was because my husband was diagnosed with blood cancer last year, and he needed a bone marrow transplant, and we were told that without a donor that Rick would be dead by Christmas. Now, obviously, given that we were told that because he was Asian it was going to be a problem, that didn't seem right to us, and then obviously we wanted to learn a little bit more about it, and more importantly, you know, what can we do about this?
Right. I mean, blood cancer. I mean, what is it? I mean, if we can sort of summarise it somehow.
It's difficult because blood cancers, there's no medical, you know, there's no real reason why does it happen to one person, not to the other person. I mean, Rick, healthy, fit. A lot of people are healthy and fit. There's no the reason actually why people get blood cancers is not known. It's not hereditary. So
I was going to ask that. I mean, is it inherited, or is it, you know, like you can catch a common cold, you catch it from one another, but something like this, you know, like it says, a fit and healthy person all of a sudden can be diagnosed with this, and there's many forms of cancers, but this in particular. So what are we doing to, you know, I mean, can we prevent it?
No, because there isn't really any medical reason as to why somebody gets this. There is obviously lots and lots of research being taken to sort of look at these issues, and there's lots and lots of work being taken to look at drugs and different treatments, and the treatments change all the time. Survival rates for, you know, leukemia patients, actually, given, you know, some of the treatments that are available, you know, are so much better than what they were, you know, years ago, and it changes every single year. So the more we can do to raise money around research is fantastic. The more we can do to support Anthony Nolan and all the work that they're doing, you know, to find matches around the world, the more we can do as a community to come together to register with Anthony Nolan, to in effect create an insurance policy so that anyone requiring a stem cell donor, that there's somebody there on, you know, for them on the register.
I mean, you're talking about stem cell donors. Is it that, you know, I mean, within our community in particular as well, does it make any difference that, you know, a donor can be any race, any colour, or is it like with one community it has to be the same sort of community people?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want everybody, all communities represented on the Anthony Nolan database, but essentially, you know, for somebody that is looking for a match, it's got to be somebody from the same ethnic background as themselves, you know, for the obvious reasons, because you're trying to find a tissue match which is, you know, the same as yours, or as near as you can possibly get. So really, you know, where you've got specific communities that are underrepresented, we really need to try to work together to try and address some of those things.
Right, okay. And when we say the word bone marrow, I mean, I think automatically we assume it's a bone and it's something to do with our bone. I mean, what do we give? Are we here to give bones, or are you going to take something from our bone, as it were? What is, you know, if you can just explain that a bit?
Well, it's certainly not the bone, you'll be pleased to hear. And what it actually is, it's stem cells, which is actually, you know, bone marrow is what lives, if you like, within the bone. So it's just bone, it's actually the marrow, it's stem cells. So in actual fact, what we're asking people to do, with very little side effects, you know, to themselves, is come along, take part. You know, let's get your saliva sample first of all. Let's get you onto the database. Once you're on the database, if you're lucky enough to be a match for somebody, there'll be some further blood tests just to make sure that the tissues do match up. And if all those things are right, then you will be given the opportunity really to go down 2 processes. And the process number 1 really, both actually processes are similar in that you would be having an injection for around 3 days, which stimulates your stem cells and you'll produce more. No damage to yourself, and they fall into your blood. So it means you're going to be producing more. You might feel a little bit of cold, a little bit of flu-like symptoms, but nothing more. And then after a week, a bit like giving blood, they actually connect a needle up to each of your arms, and it's taken out. Your blood is returned to you, and the extra stem cells that you're producing, that's taken, and it's only a little bag, but potentially that could save somebody's life.
Can save, absolutely. And the sample that we have here, then the saliva sample, is it a swab that you put in your mouth, or is it you? I mean, what's the process? I mean, if you tell everybody that it's so simple, everybody can do it. So if you just tell them the process.
I mean, today all that you'll be asked to do, whether you go online or come along to an event, is fill out a very short medical questionnaire, doctor's details, any medical history that you've got, next of kin or another contact detail. Then it's a question of there's a small saliva bottle, and you just spit into that bottle. Doesn't take very long. That's taken away along with your medical questionnaire back to Anthony Nolan, who take it into their laboratories, tissue type it, and basically put it onto their register. And it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. I mean, a simple process that can save potentially lives. So all we'd like to say is from Raj FM as well. It's very nice to be here, and we're going to all take part as well, and we're going to encourage a lot of people as well, because it's a simple thing, but it can save lives. And I think all communities should get together. Everybody for humanity should get together and just do donate, just a simple process, but it can potentially save so many lives. Now I'm joined with Anne. Anne, welcome to Raj FM.
Thank you.
And right, and we're here obviously at the Nishkam Centre for a very good cause. Can you just tell us a bit about why you're here and what your involvement is?
Anthony Nolan is a charity that tries to find matches for patients who've got leukemia and different kinds of blood cancers. And basically, when their treatment is no longer working, they may need a bone marrow or a blood stem cell transplant. And Anthony Nolan is a charity that finds matches for those people, people who are unrelated to the patient themselves, who would be willing to donate either bone marrow or blood stem cells if they were to ever come up as a match for someone who needed it.
Right. Okay. I mean, generally we've had a briefing earlier on as well, what it's all about and why you're doing this. In a register, I mean, how many people in the UK have actually registered so far?
On our register at the moment we have about 445,000 people, and around the world there are about 15 million people on registers, and any one of those people could be potentially a match for somebody who needed it. The bone marrow register and the blood stem cell register is a very international thing, and people who register here today may help to save lives of people all over the world, and similarly every day patients in the UK receive transplants from donors coming from other parts of the world as well.
Right. So I mean, as soon as we give the sample, I mean, how long does this sample actually last? I mean, you put it on your database, but how long, I mean, does it have to be No,
so people join the register today who are between fit and healthy and between the ages of 18 and 40, and once they join the register they'll actually stay on there until they're 60, and they could come up as a match at any point between when they join the register and when they turn 60. So it just takes one saliva sample and then they're on there in case they would ever come up as a match for somebody.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, because I was going to say that, is it just for now? Is it just for this campaign? But no, it's for until they're sort of 60. And what is the best age for somebody to give a sample? I mean, is there any criteria that you look for as well?
So men between the ages of 18 and 30 are the most likely on our register to come up as a match. So we're always looking for more young men between the ages of 18 and 30. But today, for people who are joining up, anyone fit and healthy, but male or female between the ages of 18 and 40 is eligible to come along today or to join up online on our website.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a very good thing that you guys are doing, and we're proud to be here from Raj FM, and I hope everything goes well, and we start saving more and more lives. Now I'm actually joined with somebody who actually has done the blood cell donating, and if you could just tell us a little bit about how it actually was.
Well, it was about 3 years ago, well, about 2.5 years ago now. I've been part of the register for about 5 years, and I was told that I could be a potential match. I just got a letter in the post, sent my blood samples off through my GP, and it turned out I was a match for somebody.
So you've actually saved somebody's life then?
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
Wicked. I mean, it gives you that self-satisfaction. I mean, and the procedure is very simple as well, isn't it? I
Absolutely,
mean, there's nothing to it. I mean, if you just talk about the actual procedure, obviously what we're doing here, we're actually giving our saliva samples, but you've obviously been to the next level as well. Can you just talk a bit about that?
Yeah, it's really easy. I turn up to London in the morning, and basically they just put an inlet and an outlet in my hands, and basically they're running my blood through this machine. It's called like the harvest machine or something, and I'm just sitting there for about 4 hours whilst I'm running the blood and taking the plasma out of my body. All I did was sit there and watch cricket. Simple as that. I was sitting there watching cricket. There was a bloke next to me, a South African bloke. We had a chat and laugh. Everyone was fine.
Brilliant.
Went home that day, had a couple of beers with my mates. They did say I would have side effects, but I didn't have no side effects at all.
So yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I mean, you're fit and healthy. There was nothing to it, because people are scared, aren't they? To say, well, if I give my blood, my sort of bone marrow sample, that something may happen to me. But it's nothing like that, isn't it?
Not at all. I mean, to be honest with you, I was quite nervous before I've done my own research on it, because you don't know. I've never been to hospital or anything like that, touch wood. But no, it was really, really easy. I mean, I didn't have no side effects at all. Or I played football for Wondervolts, and the next day I was playing Sunday League.
So I mean, it's a simple message, isn't it? It's a very simple procedure, and the bottom line is, you will save somebody's life like you just did.
Absolutely, you are saving someone's life by doing this. It's probably one of the most easiest things I've ever done, and the most effective thing.
Now joined with Cam, who actually suffered from this blood cancer. So I'm just going to ask Cam her experiences and what she did about it to overcome it as well. Hi Cam, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay Cam, we believe that obviously this whole campaign that we're doing here today with the blood cancer, to make a difference for people's lives like yourselves as well, because you've obviously suffered the whole process and been through. So if you can just tell us a little bit about your experience. I mean, when you first found out about it, I mean, what was going through your mind? I mean, was it a normal thing? Was it sort of like, oh my God, why me?
Well, yeah, I mean, cause, it's been not necessarily a long time, but it's been a while. Back on the 27th of January last year, and I had simple bruising on my legs, and I thought nothing of it. But family were, nagging at me to go to the doctors, which I did. And after blood tests, it was found out, they advised me that they suspected leukemia, which it turned out to be the case. And at that moment in time, all that goes through your head is, like you said, why me? Am I going to ever see my children grow up? And I just think, you think of cancer and you basically link it to death.
Exactly, especially like within our communities as well. The word cancer itself, we always sort of say, oh my God, there's no way back now, because once you've got cancer, there's no way back. But there is, isn't there? And I think staying positive about it, I mean, if you tell us about your experience, how you was positive once you found out, and what you did afterwards.
Well, luckily, we are a very close family, and all the extended family, are very close. And I think in this kind of situation, you have to rely on, on your family 110%, because, without family being there to support you, every day, and also, like you said, having a positive attitude, because, trust me, there is days where you just want to cry and, and break down, but that's not going to achieve anything. You do need to be positive, and and basically, pray, for the best outcome.
Exactly. I mean, staying positive is very hard when because otherwise, like, people can put you down, can't they? Saying, well, you've got this. Oh, don't worry about it. Well, you can't. But if somebody sort of says, no, you are going to fight this. You are going to see your children growing up. You are going to sort of overcome this, and you've done this. So we can say it's a great achievement. But there's like the heartache that you must have gone through was really hard. But with centres like this, for what we are here today at the Nishkam Centre, for example, the charity that's running the test for the spit test, as it were, can you just tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, well, basically today, we're trying to get as much as the Asian community, that we can. They're aged between 18 and 40, to try and get them registered on the anti-Nolan register, because at this moment in time, there's only actually 4% of Asians on the register, and this is a big issue for any Asian brother or sister out there that is suffering from leukemia like myself, because when it comes, if I was to relapse, and my next step would be to have a bone marrow transplant, and my match is only going to be another Asian brother or sister, and that is how it is. So
exactly, it's so important that our community gets together in this, because, like you says, through to get the right matches, it's got to be somebody from your own community, and that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter what community you're from, but that's generally because of the matching it's so important to get it right. But there isn't many they're like our community who are doing this. And I think sometimes people only realise when it happens to them. Normally we say, oh, this isn't going to happen to us. It only happens to somebody else, or we talk about, or we listen to other stories. But when it happens to us ourselves, then we realise how important it is. So it is very important that we get the community together, to help people like yourselves, and not only that, help other people's lives as well. And the process today as well, it's very simple, isn't it? I mean, what is the process when we go inside?
Well, the process is you come in, and obviously we need to check that you are aged between 18 and 40 and fit and healthy. All you need to do is complete a simple form, which will take literally 10 minutes out of your time, and then provide us with a saliva test, and that is basically the case. And if you become a match, and then the anti-Nolan register will contact you directly.
Right. Okay.
So it is a very simple process.
Yes, it is, and it's a very good cause, because at the end of the day we can save people's lives. Thank you, Cam, for being here, and thank you for the interview, and well done. देखो एक सिंपल या फॉर्मूला है एक थक दा सैंपल आ थक दे सैंपल दे नाल ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੋਨ ਮੈਰੋ ਦਾ ਟਿਸ਼ੂ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੈਚਿੰਗ ਹੋਏ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਜਾਨ ਵੀ ਬਚਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ so it's very simple procedure and this is what's happening at the Nishkam Centre.